What up, y'all? Today we're going to be looking at some sparring footage of James Toney. We're going to be jumping around a little bit just to show a few different details. Now, full disclosure, I am playing with a new piece of tech where I can draw on the screen. And those of you guys who have followed the work for a while know that me and tech don't exactly get along. So you guys bear with me. I'm sure I'm going to be getting the hang of this as we go. So let's check this out. And for the background, obviously, James is a conventional fighter. The sparring partner is in the Southpaw stance. James is going to start by throwing his right straight. Now, this is important here. Look what happens when James throws this left hook. The opponent is able to pull. James is going to miss, but he has so much momentum behind that hook. Look what happens. He's going to lose his foot positioning here all the way to the inside, and dang near his entire back is turned to face the opponent. Now, this is a dangerous position to be in. There are some exit strategies from this position, though. One of those exit strategies, and you see this from Guillermo Rigondeaux was really clean with this, where he would simply inside pivot in this direction here, using that rear leg. And because his foot was already on the inside, he's that much closer to exiting off in that direction. James is going to use something a little bit different. From here, he's going to show the jab in the opponent's face, and this jab is going to allow him to recover his stance. Now, this is important, guys. Look at Toney's stance right here, and look at the opponent's stance. So Toney is dang near now firing on a more or less neutraled up opponent, and in this position, Toney is able to clip with that right straight, catching the opponent. The opponent is forced to regain his stance with a really big pivot out with that rear foot, and Toney's able to get right back in his face and initiate in a clinch. So again, this is a much lower effort recovery strategy should you lose that lead foot. Just pop the jab and reorient yourself as you are popping that jab out. So again, he pops the jab as he moves his stance, and now he immediately gets back into his stance facing a neutral opponent. He can clip and then get right back in the opponent's face. So here we have another nice little detail on how to gain that outside flank in an open stance format. And those of you guys who watch the are on the Patreon know I talk quite a bit about the positives and the negatives. So this is a way to gain that outside flank without having to rely on positives. So let's check this out right here. We're going to see James is firing the jab as he exits and takes this outside flank. So here we can see James's foot is on the outside of the opponent's foot. Now let's continue from here. Forgive me, guys, I'll pull back. All right, so once we get this outside positioning, look at what James does. He is going to have this glove down, but the opponent can reasonably expect that this glove is going to be firing straight through at the opponent's center line. So what does the opponent do? He's going to dip his head in, forgive me, there we are. He's going to dip his head down like this. Again, being in this ops position, guys, is a very common defense in a Southpaw orthodox format. Look at what James does. Again, understand that he already has the outside foot positioning. He is now going to use this arm to reach around the opponent's far side hip. And at this point, notice how 2 feet are in a row right here as he has that far side hip as an anchor. Now, from this position, Toney is going to be able to rotate out in this direction here and finish the flanking around the opponent. So again, he is showing the right hand. The opponent opts. He's going to go 2 feet in a row with that far side hip grip. and then he's going to circle out. Now, as the opponent does the right thing of circling back into Toney in this direction here, Toney is going to keep that hip grip and then just throw these short right side shots. And again, this obviously keeps the opponent defensive. He has to keep that high guard up. And Toney is able to kind of relax and get back into whatever comfortable boxing stance he prefers, whether it's southpaw or orthodox. So again, let's check this out. So we see the jab. Toney is going to have that right hand low, perhaps to cock it, whatever it was that James was thinking. The opponent clearly understood because he gets into the ops position. As Toney goes 2 feet in a row, that left hand is going to get that far side hip grip. He's going to start circling around. The opponent does the right thing, trying to circle back into Toney, but Toney already has that right glove available. He's going to throw these short shots, keep the opponent defensive until the two athletes are going to separate. Now, before we get into this last segment, if you guys would like to find more of the long form work, you guys can do so on the Patreon, patreon.com/boringbreakdowns. It is in the link in the description below. Let's go ahead and jump in. Now, it's important to note that there had already been a few minutes of sparring leading up to this segment, and that is where James had initiated enough entries into close range that he is able to do what he does here. Now, why do I say that? It's all about, again, something I say with my students often, it's all about Pavlov's dog in them. You have to condition them. You have to precondition them to such a response such that when you throw something else into the mix, when you throw a monkey wrench in the mix, then they bite super heavy because they're expecting a response that you were conditioning them for. So let's go ahead and check this out. From here, James is going to throw the jab. Now, look at this right here. So we see this level change from James, and off this level change here, look at what this makes the opponent do. He's going to high guard super tight right here, and James feints like he is about to come in, and we see that with that that forward motion of James's gut right here. And instead of coming in, James is going to back out. And when he backs out, we're going to see it in just a moment, but the opponent was expecting him to come in, that the opponent just high guards right here and is trying to himself close that distance on James. And instead of James obliging, look at the opponent's, what is this? His right glove or his right arm right here. So the opponent's right arm is winged out. Why is that? Because the opponent had that forward momentum trying to clinch, and if you guys look at this area here, what do you guys see? That's actually Toney's left glove. He is controlling the opponent's arm and redirecting him towards the screen, towards the viewer here. And as he redirects him, James is able to exit out in this direction. And then the two athletes go back to neutral. So let's check this out one more time. James is going to throw that jab. He's going to level change, which gets that high guard. Feints like he's going to come in. Notice this little detail right here. The opponent tightened up his elbows towards his gut, understanding, hey, James is more than likely going to try to close that distance. So I want to get my frames in between me and James, but James is going to back up and force the opponent to now be trying to play catch up. He is going to look to clinch and get that forward momentum. Toney is going to instead pivot out, control that glove, and chicken wing his arm out for just enough time that he can come back to neutral. So guys, understand the importance of preconditioning. This isn't just for turning the opponent off, but this is for dang near everything you do. When you set up offense, oftentimes people say yo, I can't land my 1-2. Maybe I'm hitting him with my jab. I can't hit him with my rear straight. Well, how much did you precondition them? Are they expecting your rear straight? If they're defending your rear straight every single time, that means you got to start switching something up in the preconditioning phase of your offense. In the same way, when you have successful preconditioning, that's when you can get big bites like this, and this is what we want, because we want them biting on something and then we're throwing something else at them. Guys, thank you all so much for watching. Again, if you guys would like to support the work and get access to a ton more of this long-form content, I have exclusive work that I put on the Patreon, patreon.com/boringbreakdowns. It is also going to be in the link in the description below. But if not, it's totally okay. Liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, telling the homies at the gym about this work is a huge help. Thank you guys so much again. I appreciate y'all support. I'll catch up with y'all on the next one. Peace.